Hey guys, kinggath here, and in this guide we're going to go over the rank and leveling system in Conqueror. So when we shipped Conqueror, each of your soldiers were effectively meat shields. You would just recruit a bunch of them, throw them at attacks, and eventually they'd die inevitably, and you didn't really care about any of the individuals. Well, partway through between phase 1 and 2, we added the rank system, which allowed you to level up your soldiers. Now, since then, we've added a lot of new mechanics to enhance and change the way that works, and so I'll talk about it from the perspective of where it's at right now, but it's very likely by the time you watch this, we'll have changed it further, and hopefully always in a positive way. So at the time of this recording, there are 3 different ways you can rank up your soldiers. One is by taking them on as personal guards. Now, I'm not going to talk about the personal guard system, but it effectively allows you to take any of your soldiers as companions. I will go into that in detail in its own video, but you can bring on your soldiers to go with you, and during that time, they are very mortal and very at risk of death, but in exchange, they start to gain experience and can rank up. The second way, and this is the safest way, is through training yards. And I will go over training yards again when we talk about the special buildings video, when we get to that in our playlist. But the training yard is a special type of recreational plot. If you go to build a recreational plot and select a building plan from the menu, look at the note on the building plan that pops up after you select it. It'll tell you whether or not it's a training yard. And training yards will slowly train up whoever's assigned to them and any other warriors in that outpost. And they'll slowly gain XP from that. They can make it all the way to rank 3 from just having access to a training yard. It's a slow process, but it's very safe. And then the riskiest and most volatile way to rank up is to be parts of assaults and raids. So if you take any of your warriors on assaults with you, or if an attack happens on your base, your warriors and guards will both be affected. They will gain large amounts of experience for surviving, and that is the quickest way to rank them up. So rank ups provide a few benefits, but the real benefit is getting them up to rank 5. That's ultimately your goal, and it's very hard to accomplish. I apologize, I have the hiccups. The ranks each gain you little bonuses for your soldiers. They gain by default, depending on what the faction pack is set up as, it could change, but for most of them, I think they use the default, is you will see little boosts to health and damage, and those numbers are based on the same jumps you would see from NPCs if they were to jump 10 levels higher. So it's effectively the equivalent of jumping a rank is like leveling up 10 times for that NPC, which is quite powerful. So it's a pretty substantial boost at each rank up. But that also means that you're going to want to be a little more careful with your higher ranked soldiers, because they are going to be much more valuable for the amount of damage they're doing, but they're still mortal until they reach rank 5. And this is ultimately your goal with everybody. Rank 5 soldiers become immortal. Now, this doesn't mean that they're just unkillable machines that are going to plow through all of your enemies and make everything easy mode. Instead, when they would normally die, instead they'll go to an injured state, and they will stay there until either you stim pack them or combat has ended for that particular raid or assault. So it's very beneficial to get them up to rank 5, but it's also very difficult to do, and that is, again, by design. We want you to get to rank 5, but we want you to have to earn it. So one of the strategies to do so is to do something like train your guys up to rank 3, and then take a few of them with you on an assault and stay really close to that rank so that you personally are absorbing the bullets they would normally take and kind of protect them until they can make it up to rank 5. That's a one strategy you can go with. Another is just mass spamming. If you take enough of a high enough rank, you're definitely going to lose some, but inevitably some will survive. So there are definitely different ways you can go about it. It's totally up to you how you want to approach it. And then of course there's also the personal guard system, which is a good way to babysit individuals and help them get their ranks up, though that is a little bit more of a slow process. So there are tons of different ways you can rank these guys up. Ultimately, your goal is to get them to rank 5 so that you can fully invest in them. And one of the features that many people suggest when they hear this, and it's something we would love to do, and it's on our radar for future implementation, is that after they make it to rank 5 is to give them a name. We love that idea. I think it would be really cool and really feel like that became a real person as opposed to just a mindless meat bag like they were in the launch of Conqueror. But the rank up system will make combat easier because your guys will start becoming more powerful, especially with those damage boosts. So it'll make it easier, and it'll make these soldiers more useful in those assaults and on defense. So ranking them up is hugely important, and I think it's a lot of fun. In fact, one of the things I want to talk about with ranking up is that there's a little bit of unimmersive effect that goes along with it that nobody's complained about it, but I think that's because we add the option to toggle it off. So when somebody ranks up, they're going to get a little green like nuclear effect around them, and it looks similar to the gamma gun effect, and it'll burst around them and you'll hear the level up sound, the same one you hear it when you level up. And we thought that it was fun. I love hearing it, and then like every time I finish an assault, I kind of wander close to my soldiers and listen for any of them to level up. That's just a little fun thing. But if you don't like that, I get that it's not immersive. It's just a fun mechanic and a way for you to visually see that something's happened. You can actually turn that off under the effects and the level up effects, and that there's a sound and a visual component with it. This turns off both of them. If anybody requested it, I would consider separating them, but so far nobody has, so I haven't bothered. I think most people are either they just want the fun factor of seeing a little boost happen, or they just want all immersion and so don't want either of those. So I haven't found anybody in between there. So that's how you can turn that off. But leveling up, you will notice it. It will happen right in front of you. It happens shortly after a raid completes. Now, occasionally, for those of you guys who are deep into Conqueror, you probably have seen that sometimes cleaning up an assault at the end can take quite a while, especially if there's a lot of plots or a lot of civilians and a vassal left behind, is that it can take several minutes, if not 15-20 minutes before the conversion completes. And it's not until later in that conversion process that the leveling up happens. But if it doesn't happen in front of you, that's okay. As soon as you roll back into a settlement that has anybody with enough XP to level up, then their effects will trigger. So you don't have to sit around waiting for your guys to level up. But if you happen to be doing your early raids, you'll probably see it happen right in front of you. So that's the rank up system. Again, goal to get to rank 5, many ways to do it, and I hope you guys enjoy. Now watch out in the future for special units to gain the ability to rank up. At the time of this recording, they don't have it, but it is something we're interested in adding in a future patch.